Testing, everyone. Can you all hear me? Hello, everyone. How are we all going?
Hello. Good, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Bad? Yeah, not too bad. All right, so welcome to the first podcast of the Melbourne Stars off-season. I'm Heath McDonald.
I'm Melbourne Stars News, the account, and we're lucky enough to have some guests joining us today. It should be a great first episode, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'll start off. What was the positive for the Melbourne Stars throughout the year, in your opinion?
Yeah, so it was quite an interesting season. I feel as there were many positives and negatives, but I think some of the positives were we improved throughout the season. I feel we gained some excellent momentum when on our four-game win streak. We improved in both batting and bowling. But yeah, I'll let some of our guests have a speak and see what they think.
Okay.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of positives and negatives coming out of this season. Again, the 4-game win streak was good. Yeah, that's about it.
That's good. What was the your highlight of the year? Can be a player performance or a team performance.
Mine was an overall team performance, and I think it was on New Year's Eve. I have to give it to Stoinis and Webster. There were some amazing shots, and it really got the crowd involved, and it was great support. Just an all-round great night, and really good team momentum building.
That's good. I have to agree with that as well. What do
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, the same thing. Exactly.
And what was the negative that we all had? Because I'll go first. I reckon like when we have a chance to make finals and everything, we bottled our chance against the Renegades, and it was just sad to see that we couldn't live up to the expectations of needing to make finals.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's almost a bit of like it's inconsistency really. We kind of like build up momentum and then just struggle later in the season. But it's hard to tell what is the problem because we have a lot of experienced players, but we're just not performing when we need to. So yeah, I'm really not sure what kind of happened there against the Renegades. It was very tough to tell.
Yeah, I reckon it was down to mentality of the
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, there was a lot of mentality. I mean, you could see the frustration of Maxwell when he went out, when he got bowled by Nathan Ellis. He was very disappointed and in shock. And some of the mentalities, yeah, I totally agree with that.
I was watching when we were bowling against the Hurricanes, and I was like, we didn't. It was our last game. Obviously, of your last game, you're not making finals, but you want to play for something like end the season on a high, and we just didn't look like that for our bowling in the mentality department.
Yeah, I agree. I thought we seemed very flat. I was hoping that we'd get a really good start, but we struggled to break the opening partnership. It took us a while to get McDermott out. He made 50 before we got him out, and we were looking really flat and slow. I understand we can't make finals, but it's definitely a good idea to end the season on a high and gain some positives.
What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Just we were flat in the last game, I reckon, and then yeah.
What was yeah? So I was thinking, what do you reckon we need to improve on, and what do you want to look forward to for the Stars next year? Obviously, like pushing up towards the title contention be nice, but just like setting high standards.
Well, yeah, I personally think we need to try and get off to a better start. I feel now that the season is shortened to 10 games, we have a lot more responsibility on ourselves to go well early. We can't try and leave things too late and make a late run for finals. So yeah, we definitely need to work on pushing forward early and gaining momentum, which starts with having a solid lineup. So I think it'll be interesting to see who we take in the draft, what international players are going to be signed, who are we going to re-sign. It's going to be really interesting to see how we start the next season.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so obviously wasn't great having Harry Brook like go for international duties early on in the season, and then half our decent players like Harris, Ralph, Liam Dawson, and them obviously going for national duties. So it'll be interesting next year with the draft and who we're going to re-sign, and hopefully we can win the flag next year.
Yeah, that's the alternative. That's what we all want to see.
Mm.
And I don't think we're far off from winning the flag neither. We're just a couple decent players away from really contending with the Perth Scorchers and your Brisbane Heats and your Sydney Sixers and all those good teams that we want to strive towards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. We're only a couple decent players away. I feel like we also need to strengthen our bowling lineup, though. I feel like we were a little inconsistent at times. We kept changing our bowling lineup. Some of the players are weaker, some of the players are stronger. And then, as our guest mentioned, we also had a lot of international players that were leaving us, which doesn't help because we lose momentum and then we have to kind of rebuild and restructure everything. And it kind of messes our season up.
Yeah, and that doesn't help
Yeah.
neither.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and so obviously the finals are coming up. I would like to get your predictions for the finals and who's going to take it out. I'll start with the guest first.
Yep.
I reckon the Heat will make about 160 for 7 in the final against the Scorchers. And the Scorchers.
No, keep going.
Oh yeah, so I reckon the Scorchers will collapse a bit towards the start, but in the middle they'll should be able to come back, and I reckon they'll win it by 3 wickets.
Okay, that's a good prediction.
Yeah, I'm thinking similar, but except I'm actually thinking the Heat are going to win. I think it's going to be a similar game to last season, actually, except just reverse it. The Heat will win. I think they'll put up a really strong total. They're playing quite well at the moment. You know, only one loss throughout the whole entire season is really great. Obviously, it's tough to see who's going to win out of the Sixers and the Scorchers, like who's going to make the final. I think those two teams are really competitive, and it's going to be quite interesting. But I do think the Scorchers have just enough to get past the Sixers. Obviously, we saw the Sixers win last night, but I do think the Scorchers will get it done in the finals. But yeah, the grand final should be really interesting. I've got the Heat making a solid 200 runs batting first. I think, it'll be a really good game, and the Scorchers just won't be able to chase, but it will be a good game and it'll be very close.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm going with the Brisbane Heat. I reckon they'll win the toss and they'll bat first and they'll make 195 and they'll set a good total for the Scorchers to chase down. I reckon the most runs will be. It depends who's in form. Like I reckon. Michael Nisa, like he's an underrated player for the Brisbane Heat. I reckon he'll have a solid innings, and he'll guide his team to victory. And the Scorchers will try, but they'll lose a few early wickets, and then they just won't be won't be able to get to the total. And I reckon they'll get about 7 for 180 something.
Yeah, that's a really good prediction. I could see that happening. It's really difficult to tell who's going to be the MVP or top run scorer for the Heat. They've had a lot of players coming in and out, like Marnus, Kawaja, Renshaw, all now being selected for Test duties.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see who steps up for the Heat. Obviously, Pearson will most likely be their captain, just the same as last grand final. But yeah, it'll be really interesting from a batting point of view, having 3 batters out of the squad for Test duties. It'll be really interesting to see who steps up. If it's Josh Brown, I think he's got a good chance.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I want to get you guys' opinion on another thing. Aaron Finch was talking about Marcus Stoinis, and he was saying like they should push Stoinis up to the the top of the order. What do you guys think about that?
I 100% agree. I've been saying this for the whole season, really. You know, I understand Stoinis plays well in the middle order for Australia and the ODIs or even T20s, but this past couple seasons in the Big Bash, he just really hasn't been performing at that number 5 spot. So I think statistically, pushing him up the order will help us a lot as he'll get time to work his way into the innings, and then he'll be able to score boundaries more consistently, and he's not pressured by early wickets that have been falling for us, and he won't, because I noticed he's rushing a lot of his shots and kind of getting out in unnecessary ways. He's kind of throwing his wicket away. So I think if he eases into the innings by starting or opening, then it'll really make a difference, and he'll be able to push higher. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Stoinis has had a lot of success opening for the Melbourne Stars, including that season where he did make 147, I think it was, against the Sixers at the MCG. And yeah, the last few seasons batting at 5, he hasn't really done that well. So yeah, I do agree with Aaron Finch there, and he should bat higher up.
Yeah, and if you guys had to have a dream international player, a cricketing legend who still plays, who do you reckon you would want us to take?
Well, I was thinking more of inside the BBL draft. I was actually looking at the list from the BBL13 draft today, and there's a lot of great players there that were not taken. Like Fav du Plessis was not taken this year. He's a great international player. We saw him in the Scorchers for BBL12, making hundreds of runs. He'd really strengthen our top order, and there's a lot of other great players like Lowry Evans would be great, Sam Billings, but a lot of those players are going to get re-signed to teams. But those players are all great, and the great thing about them is they don't have many international duties. Like they're playing the whole season, if not most of the season, like 8 to 9 games, instead of just coming over for 2 or 4 games.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Of course, I would honestly like to see Nicholas Pooran make a return to the Stars. He was a fan favourite.
Yeah, totally agree with that. A fan favourite, great wicketkeeper, batsman. Could definitely come back. I definitely see that. I think he has the potential to come back to the Big Bash, and he'd be great for the fans and the club.
Exactly. Yeah. What about the Spice Man, Andre Flett?
Yeah, was he nominated in this last draft? I don't think I saw his name there.
I don't think so. Not that I could.
But he could definitely come back, I'm sure. As long as he doesn't have any international duties. He was also a fan favourite, absolute star in the field.
Yeah.
Great opening batsman. Really got us off to a great start. Him and Stoinis.
Yeah,
he took some good catches as well.
Oh, he did. Yeah, the one against
the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Those highlights are still played to this day.
Exactly. Yeah. So is that anything we want to talk about for episode 1 of the podcast?
I think it's been a really productive episode 1. Usually episode 1s are pretty quiet. We're just getting started, but it's been really good to organise this, and I think it's going to be a great series. It's really entertaining for the fans throughout the off-season to still be talking about the Stars and the Big Bash and what we can improve on for next season to be better.
Yeah, definitely. And no one's talking about 20.
Yeah.
We will definitely talk about it and hopefully get more fans and expand our knowledge of the Big Bash and appeal to the fans.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get. I organised 2 fans to come on to this podcast. So, Josh, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sorry that you couldn't make it here today, but we'll definitely reschedule and get you on another podcast. And because there's many to come, there's much more stuff to talk about. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for hosting.
All right, catch you later.
All right, thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you. See ya.